I remember growing up, and as I grew up, I was watching like these African American movies that was talking about slavery. And I remember them talking about how they took us from our country, forced labor, forced this, forced that, or whatever the case may be. And as I'm growing spiritually and maturing in life, and this is the sad part about it because I tell people, even though you're grown, you're not always grown mentally. So as I start to mature, what am I learning? First of all, I'm learning that education is key. So that's one thing that they script from us and try to keep from us. Sometimes you're not going to get the certification. It's not about the paper, it's about the education. Because a lot of people won't have the paper, but they have the know how. They can actually execute. So now we got to look at the fact that we may not always have the paper. So we're undocumented. We're a little bit alienated because of the fact that we don't have the documentations, but we're not part of the problem. So education is always key. Learning something new every year. Just learning. I tell people this all the time, learning. And I installed them, the children that were going to school, K through 12, go back, fortify that foundation. There are some things that your teacher did not get a chance to teach you within those months of teaching that you still need. So education is still one of the biggest keys that keeps our people enslaved and keep them from growing. First of all, we already know that an Adam and Eve mindset is a docile mindset. And the only way to liberate yourself is through education, through wisdom, through knowledge. And this is what we call that God knowledge, because you're going to need that to push forth and stuff like that. So you got to go to God and learn what you can learn about spiritual. This is a spiritual warfare. Some of this stuff you're not going to even see because you were taught to be blind. You were blinded, and these walls were built, and this blindness was actually given to you as a child in elementary school. This is part of the reason why you have most parents saying, okay, I'm not educating myself in the regular school system, I'm homeschooling. So you got one parent that's working and they're out there hard down working, and then you have the other parent who's being a homemaker because they know what's going on, but some of us are not aware.